I wanted to play a clip of Mumia Abu-Jamal on death row in, well, the state you're leaving, Pennsylvania.
Exactly.
His case was just in court. This is Mumia Abu-Jamal, who speaks frequently about the importance of hip-hop, a prison radio commentary from Mumia Abu-Jamal last year.
Hip-hop all over the world. When the term hip-hop is mentioned, it often evokes images of jewel-encrusted rappers, their mouths blazing with glitter and gold, bumping and grinding to a heavy bass beat. That's part of it, but it's a small part. Through the power of the U.S. media and the international forces which fuel radio, hip-hop is now a world music with borders that can no longer be marked. To most of us, it's a Black American thing and perhaps a Puerto Rican thing, with roots in the gritty South Bronx. Those days may reflect the birth of that art form, expressed in rap, in dance, and in street art styles. But hip-hop echoes abroad today, with adherents and fans as far afield as Hawaii, the Middle East, Nigeria, India, Germany, France, Cuba, Samoa, South Africa, Tanzania, and beyond. It is almost dizzying when one considers the various forms hip-hop and rap takes when it crosses the seas. In many places, even though it began with perhaps rather poor imitations of African-American rappers, they inevitably adapt their own forms, heavily influenced, yes, by African-American rap, but quickly and cleverly becoming something that reflects the recurrent power of the indigenous. In Hilo, Hawaii, the group Sudden Rush has indigenized hip-hop by using the Hawaiian language in their work, and also openly opposing the U.S. annexation of the island and the imprisonment and dethronement of the Hawaiian royal house. One of their biggest hits was entitled Ku'e, Hawaiian for resist or stand up. They speak about Uncle Sam's grand larceny in stealing Hawaii from the native people there. In Britain, hip-hop often takes a more Asian flavor than an African one, as seen in the group Caliphs, which features folks from Pakistani, Sikh, and South Asian families. Interestingly, one of their biggest influences has been the Wu-Tang Clan, a black rap group that uses Asian imagery and language about the Asiatic black man, a reference born in the Nation of Islam's teachings. In the UK, black is commonly used to refer to Africans, Asians, and Caribbeans, in fact, anyone who isn't white. With a group like the Caliphs, a line from one of Wu-Tang's biggest hits, Protect Your Neck, from the album Enter the 36th Chamber, has an interesting meaning when they rap that they want to terrorize the jam like troops from Pakistan. As the Caliphs demonstrate, blackness has many faces and many forms. As many art forms have spread out of Black America, once it leaves, it changes and becomes a tool of other people struggling against their own internal communal problems. Around the world, the art form embraces social transformation and has become a voice of many languages against racism, exclusion, poverty, political exploitation, and imperial domination. Those that began the art form probably never saw its possibilities, but there it is. It is a world music, just like jazz or rock and roll. From death row, this is Mumia Abu-Jamal.
Mumia Abu-Jamal, actually a panel of judges, three-judge panel, heard oral arguments to decide whether he gets a new trial. We're waiting to hear on that, but he's talking about the global impact of hip-hop.
Yeah, as brilliant as he always is, and we hope and pray that justice would be done in his case and that he will soon be free. There's no question that he is absolutely right about the global impact of hip-hop and the way in which an art form that was indigenous to black people in the South Bronx could travel the world over. I mean, think about it. The partition that came down in the late 80s in Poland, you know, they're playing F the Police in the 90s, you know, F the Police, you know, they've never been to Compton, and yet that music traveled so far. The speaking out against the repressive state through police brutality now becomes a universal symbol of arguing in defense of dissent against a state that would repress that. So hip-hop has a global influence that actually needs to be acknowledged.
Bill Cosby, you wrote the book, Is Bill Cosby Right, or has the black middle class lost its mind? He's just turned 70. We're hearing a lot more from him now.
Yeah, we're still hearing a lot more from Bill Cosby. And look, God bless Mr. Cosby's heart. He obviously has the right to say what he says. The reason I wrote that book is to argue against the demonization of poor people. My Bible tells me that to whom much is given, much is required. And if you're going to start beating up on black people who have failed, you can't start with the poor. They have been failed. Now, of course, they have flaws like anybody else, but it's the black bourgeoisie, it's the upper middle class, it's the rich black people who have sold their consciences at the price of silence in the face of denial of opportunity for their lesser well-off brothers and sisters, and yet they would take the media spotlight that is hugely focused upon them to beat up on vulnerable black people. There is nothing brave about demonizing poor black women. And if you talk about hip-hop's demonization of black women, listen to Bill Cosby's speech and tell me you can tell the difference. These people and women having sex with the people coming through, that's gangster rap against and vicious vitriol against poor black women. The people have one daddy and two daddy and said pretty soon you're going to have a DNA card in the ghetto to determine if you're making love to your grandmother. That's pretty vicious.
We're going to have to leave it there. Michael
Right.
Eric Dyson, thank you so much for being with us. His latest book is
Thank
Know
you.
What I Mean, Reflections on Hip Hop, now at Georgetown University, where he teaches theology, English, and African American studies.